Do you know that Vecna was foreshadowed all the way back in Season 2, or did you know that Bob was supposed to die in the first 5 episodes? These are 25 hidden details you definitely missed while watching Stranger Things. Starting off, did you know the show was originally called Montauk? It took place on Long Island in 1980, but the Duffers had to change the show's location when they realized it would be too difficult to shoot there in winter. Also, the Montauk Project inspired the show. You might question, what is the Montauk Project? In that project, the alleged government experiment took place in the early 80s and involved kidnapping kids from Long Island to experiment on them. Now, you might notice that the basic plot of Stranger Things is just as same as the Montauk Project. From the very first episode of Stranger Things, it's clear that the show is heavily inspired by Dungeons & Dragons. Yep, that classic tabletop RPG from the 80s. Like our main gang, Will the Wizard, who gets lost in the Upside Down, Lucas, the resourceful ranger, Dustin, the bard using knowledge to save the day, and Eleven, she's basically a powerful sorcerer with her mind-bending abilities. Did you know Bob was supposed to die much earlier in Stranger Things? Bob Newby, the lovable hero of Stranger Things Season 2, was originally meant to die way earlier around episode 4, but Sean Astin's performance was so good that the Duffer Brothers decided to keep him alive until episode 8. And here's the craziest part. Will was supposed to kill him. In an alternate version, the Mind Flayer would have used Will to take Bob out, making his death even more tragic. Now, this is nothing compared to the details I noticed at the end of the video. I gotta say, the makers really pay close attention to small details. Don't believe me? Then look at this. You might remember the time when Mike and Eleven were alone in Elle's room and they were about to kiss each other for the first time, but Hopper interrupted and asked Eleven to keep the gate open at least 3 inches. And in Season 4, when Eleven is living alone, we see that her door is still 3 inches open, just as Hopper said. So there's an Easter egg in series from the movie It. Now, seriously, who haven't watched It? So in the series, we say when Bob told Will about his childhood that how he was haunted by an evil clown when he was a kid. So if we conclude when Bob was a child, he was in late 50 living with his parents in Maine, the same state where the original It movie is set. Now that's something amazing. Did you guys know that at the end of Season 3, the hair team intentionally gave Eleven the same green scrunchie that Max wore earlier in the season as a small parting gift from her friend? Aw, that's too wholesome. There is only one time when we were able to see Hopper's daughter in the series, and if you guys notice closely, you'll see a blue band tied on her hair. After that, throughout the series, we see the blue hair band everywhere. For example, after she died, Hopper also starts to tie the blue band on her wrist, which he also gave to Eleven in the memory of her daughter. So when Will went missing, we saw Jonathan putting up a poster of him, and if you guys wonder what's the catch in it, in Season 4, when Eddie went missing, we see his father putting on missing posters for his son. At that time, he wore the exact same jacket as Jonathan during the time Jonathan was putting up posters. Now, this detail will literally blow up your mind. So in Season 3, when our gang have decoded the secret Russian code and got into the Russian base, they got trapped there. But in the next episode, we see a clip where we see Robin's bike, which is still parked outside the Starfront Mall. They showed the bike for an instant, but I noticed it, so subscribe. In Season 1, Episode 1, the shed where Will hides has an upside-down, unlucky horseshoe. And maybe that's why bad things happen to him going further in the series. Well, we all know Mike is a genius, but did you know that he actually solved a Rubik's Cube? In the first season, we see a solved Rubik's Cube in the background of Mike's room, which shows that he solved it, which means he's in the 5% of people who can solve it. In Season 1, Episode 3, when Nancy asks Ally if she's seen Barb, there's a visible, quote, the Raven, Nevermore poster in the background, which indicates her death by the Demogorgon in the Upside Down. Number 11, Dustin's hat. Well, you might know Dustin's girlfriend Susie. Who cares for her? How do I know that? You see, in Stranger Things Season 3, Episode 8, Susie is Dustin's hat from Season 1 and 2 on her bedside table. I gotta say, the Stranger Things cast pays small attention to the little details. You might know about the robbers in Season 2, Episode 1, who were iconic because of their masks. But did you know that in the Melvalt's General Store, the store Will's mom works at sells the same masks the robber in the beginning of the episode wore? Now there is an Easter egg in the most hyped fight of Stranger Things, Billy vs. Steve. In Season 2, Episode 8 of Stranger Things, during Billy and Steve's fight, Steve is winning until Billy hits Steve over the head with a plate. In Season 3, Episode 6, when Episode 1 sees Billy's memories, it's revealed Billy's mom tried to defend herself against Billy's abusive father by hitting him with a plate. Maybe the creators wanted to show us how much Billy loves his mom, which is so adorable. In the interview, the creator of Stranger Things said he loves each and every Tom Cruise movie, and maybe that's why, in Season 2, Nancy and Steve are dressed up as Rebecca De Mornay and Tom Cruise in Risky Business. Vecna is the most ironic villain in Stranger Things without a doubt, but did you know that his appearance was made all the way back in Season 2? In Season 2, Episode 7, while the symbol is supposed to be in the left hand, a few errors on print releases of Vecna Lives were on the right hand. Whether it be intentional or not, I found this to be a nice Easter egg. Now this might be my favorite Easter egg so far. You see, in Stranger Things Season 2, Episode 7, Eleven's mom turns the TV to Channel 8 when Eleven leaves to look for her sister, who turns out to be 8. Isn't it ironic? In Stranger Things Season 3, the first time we see Hopper, he's watching Magnum Pot, which has clearly influenced him to grow a mustache and later to ask his assistant to get him a very specific shirt, which Tom Selleck wears in the show for his date with Joyce. I gotta say, the creators are going pretty far with the inspirations. We know Steve used to work at an ice cream shop, and that's what this next Easter egg is based on. In Stranger Things Season 3, Episode 5, Steve beats up the Russian Combs officer with a mic shaped like an ice cream scooper, something he's very used to handling. Now there's no chance you noticed this next Easter egg. In Season 3, Episode 4, Doris Discworld's patient room number is 403, which is the HTTP status code for Forbidden. After Vecna, Mind Flayer is the most remembered Stranger Things villain, and did you know that he was also foreshadowed? In Season 3, Episode 6, when A1 is on the beach, the returning water is an upside-down image of the Mind Flayer. We all know about Nevada Lab, but if you search for the location of Nevada Lab on Google Maps, it shows something quite interesting. So check for yourselves after this video. In Season 4, Episode 5, we are shown this number, and if you try to call it, it's just roughly the same sounds you hear when they call, modem sounds, typing, etc. Damn. The influence Stranger Things has on real world is amazing. In the finale of Stranger Things Season 4, during the scene when Max is in the hospital with Lucas, Lucas reads aloud to Max The Talisman by Stephen King and Peter Straub. If you pause the scene at the right moment, you can partially see the cover of the book. We know that the series was heavily inspired by Stephen King's work, but there is something else there. Looking closer at the authors' names, you can spot right away the striking resemblance to the Stranger Things logo. Same color, same one word on the top of another, even the same end letters of the longest words, and how they're bigger than the rest. This could be an insane coincidence, but I don't think they would just choose any random book. So these were the 25 things you missed while watching Stranger Things. Subscribe for more.